Today we're talking about orchids and how to take care of them so they live happily ever after. Sup everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Latif and today we are going to talk about orchids. When people think of orchids, they think of the very beautiful delicate flower and they think it's very difficult to take care of. Actually, orchids are very easy to grow in home and they are one of the hardiest indoor houseplants. Today I will show you how to take care of them and to keep them alive and enjoy them for years and years and years to come. I have 5 tips for you, 5 tips, and 1 extra tip, and that makes them 6 tips. The last one will show you how to take care of the orchids so they can come back and rebloom in the next year. Tip number 1. Tip number 1 is going to talk about how to buy orchids. Orchid comes in many different sizes and shapes and colors. And when we go to the stores, we see them all around and we really get fascinated by them. They could be very small ones, like these ones here. And they are these flowers from last year. I had them for my birthday. Or they could be beautiful like these also. I also got these from a friend of mine for my birthday. Or, as you see behind me, they're big and lavish. So which one do you want to buy? How do you go through this? It's very easy. You want to buy the one that has buds on it, and I will show you right now. So as you see, this one has still have some buds on it, and that's what you want. If you buy it all open like these ones, the opened ones will be worn and die in a few days or a few weeks. But when you buy these ones, you want some with the new buds, and this one is even putting new ones. So this will be opened, will be opening will be opening in the next coming weeks. And that will last for months and months. Actually, orchids flower for months in the summer, maybe all summer, and they are very, very beautiful too. Some of them come with one stem, and some of them comes with 2 stems. When we talk about tip number 5, I'll tell you how to get 2 stems. Yeah, so here's what you want to do. Go to the store, buy the one with more buds on it, and that's all you need. Tip number 2, location. You want to take your flowers, your orchids, and put them next to a window or in a bright area. If you have like a skyline or something, a skylight, yeah. And you want to put them in a bright area with no direct sun. These orchids, they come from the forests and they grow on trees, even though they don't live from the tree, but at the same time, they live under them, protected by them, and that's how they live there. They don't like direct sun at all. So you will need a place where there is plenty of bright light, but no direct sun. Mine, I put them next to the windows and put the shades down because we have a lot of direct sun comes from east, and maybe late afternoon too, when the sun sets this way. We have more sun to come from there. So please put them in a place where it's bright but not direct sun. Tip number 3. Tip Number 3, airflow and humidity. Here's what you want. You want to put them in an area where there's air circulation around them, so that will help to, if there is like too much water or something, that will help them to breathe, and that will help to dry that extra moisture. These grows in the forest, as we said, and there's a lot of air movement in the forest, as you know. So that dries them off after the rain, and that's what these beautiful, nice, delicate orchids need. Also, they need humidity. If your house is too humid, put a small fan next to them, but not directly on them. Also, um, if your house isn't dry because there's a lot of heat, or you live in a hot area, or for any reason, just put a humidifier next to them, and that's all you need. If you put them next to a window like I do, usually I'll open the windows late afternoon and let them breathe a little bit, and they get that beautiful breeze from the late afternoon. But in winter, we cannot open the windows, so I put a humidifier next to it and keep it away from any heat source. Yeah, like any heater or anything, don't put them directly next to it. And that's it. That's the number 3. No, 3. Tip number 4. It's about watering. It's the most important one of them all. Usually people bring these home, they're happy with them, and suddenly few weeks later, and these poor things will die, and the roots will be rotting and miserable and everything. Here is a few tips how to water your orchids. First of all, no ice cubes at all. Never. These lives in a forest, not in Alaska. So please don't put ice cubes on them. This is cold, and there's, I don't know, it's ice cubes is a crazy thing. Just don't do it. Don't. Don't do it, please. What you want to do though, you water them once a week. That's it. You water them once a week, you get a small amount of water and drop it on them, and that's all. What happens if you overwater them? If you water them every day, if you water them when they are already moist, the material is already moist, what happens is the roots will rot and die. And here's an example of that. This one has been overwatered, and you see, the roots died, and I don't know if I can revive this one, but what you want to do, touch the medium that they have been planted in or potted in, and if it's still moist, leave it, don't water it. Let them dry between every watering. Just let them dry. They like to dry before you water them again, so pay attention to them. Let them dry. They are not gonna die. They live in the forest. They dry, then it rains, then they get water, then it dry because of the air movement. That's it. Don't water them every day. Don't. If you put them in your office, write a note and say, don't water me. And if you're in a house, tell your kids and your friends and your housemate, don't water them for you. Water them once a week if they need it. If the medium is still moist, leave it alone till it's dry and water it again. There are many methods of watering these, but there are two ways of to do it. For me, I get something like that. I have something like that, and I water them with it. Thing is, because they don't like the water to sit on their leaves, I water them from here, and I put a little bit amount of water on them. Also, if you have them in pots like this one, as you see here, if you have them in pots like this one, be careful because sometimes the water will accumulate inside. I'll show you here. See? Oh, the water will accumulate inside here and that will kill them too. So what you want to do after you water them, just get a container and collect this water and throw it away. It's very easy because if you have like more than one, like 5 or 6 or even 10, I have about 15 ones here. You don't want to put water and take them out and everything. You just put the water on them. Then when they are already all watered, just run around with a container in your hand and just collect the water and throw it away, and they will be very happy. Make sure there is no water sits in their pots anymore. That's very, very important. The other way of watering these is to get a bowl and put them in it and take it out, let them sit for a while so that water goes, and then you just put them wherever you're putting them. Some people will take them to the kitchen and put them under the kitchen water, whatever it is there, the tap water, and they water them from there, and that's also fine. But I have many, I cannot every time I want to water them, I go to the kitchen and take them. That's too much work. Just buy something like this and save yourself time and energy. And don't overwater your plants, and no ice cubes. No ice cubes. No ice cubes. That was tip number 4. Tip number 5. Fertilizer. So now we got the orchid with its buds on it, and we put it in the right place, humidity and airflow, watering and everything, and we are thinking of what kind of fertilizer or how many times we fertilize them, and what that could be. All right, orchids, like any other plant, they need fertilizer, especially when they are in bloom like now. And it's very easy. Choose any kind of soluble fertilizer, and that's all you need. Really, anyone. Don't fall into the gimmicks that you find in the stores. It's orchids fertilizer. This is for spring. This is for summer. This is for this. This is for that. That is all gimmicks. All you need is just any balanced fertilizer or fertilizer that, I don't know, anyone that you can dissolve in water, and every time you water them, like I do, every time we water them during the flowering season, we will fertilize them too at the same time. They don't get burned. Also, these plants, they have air, what they call it, an air roots. So if the roots underneath them die, they still have these ones. That's also help them to suck the moisture from the environment. That's why they like humidity. They like humidity because that's where they live on. These are their lifeline. So every time you water them, just fertilize them. How much fertilizer? It's just a little bit, because you are watering them, and so every time you put something in the water, like half of the recommended amount on your package, that's all you need. Yeah, usually that's what I do. I'll water them with fertilizer during the flowering season. So as we know, some of these come with 2 stems and some of them come with 1. I had one with 3 stems on it, and we wonder how these things, how do we get them back to these 2 stem flowering thing. Fertilizer is very important. As you put a lot of fertilizer to them, that will help them to grow and help them to put more shoots and more flowers. But also is when you have them after the flowers dies, some people will cut this. I keep coming back to this one because it's one of my examples, and I put a lot of water here for you guys, so I'll have to dry it off later. When the flowers die, don't cut it from the base. Don't cut the stem from the base. Unless it's brown and dead, that's what you do. You cut them from the base. Otherwise, cut it from where the flowers, the last flower, or it's the first flower flowered, but it's the last flower on it anyway. Just cut it from there. That will encourage the orchid to bloom from here, or maybe from here, so it'll have 2 blooms on it. I have one lace somewhere here. I'll get it for you guys. Anyway, that's what you want. I cut it from here, and that will encourage it to bloom again from this side. If you cut it from the base, it will take some time for the orchid to put a new shoot and that will grow and everything, while this one will make it easier for them. So if you have 2 stems on it, you need just to cut that from the top, and that's all you need to do. And next year we will have, or next season, whenever they flower, we'll have 2 stems or maybe more. If it has 2 stems and that will shoot 2 and this one will shoot 2, you'll have 4. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Fertilizer, and don't cut the dead flowers stem from the base. Here you have it. 6 tips to keep your orchid alive. If you follow my steps right now and these tips, your orchids will never die again, and you'll have them for as long as they live. You know, orchids last for a very long time. They're very hardy flowers and very beautiful, beautiful. To have them around you, and you will be brag around your friends and say, I have an orchid in my house and it's still alive. There is a say, they say, if you want to know if you are good in relationships, you will get a plant and a pet. If a year from then and they're still alive, then you are ready to have a relationship. Well, I have a pet and I have flowers, and I don't know anything about relationships. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next video. We'll be talking about more plants. I think next one will be about succulents. I have a friend who killed his succulent. I don't know how anybody can kill his succulents, but he did. I love him, and I'll make a next video for you and for my friend, how to keep your succulents alive and don't kill them again. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.